Uber was burning $4.5 billion a year. Today, they're printing over $10 billion. How? By doing the exact opposite of what every other AI founder is doing. Dara Khosrowshahi says replacing humans with robots overnight is a massive trap. The real money is in the hybrid transition. Here is his uncut playbook on scaling without buying hardware and the brutal culture it takes to win. Listen closely.
Strategy is just as much about what you're doing and what you choose not to do. It's very easy to say yes to another idea. It's very difficult to say no, but sometimes the no's then amplify the yeses. And it's about pointing the company, having a point of view, pointing the company in a singular direction, and then putting everything you've got behind it. Well, we are going to win that race with the autonomous community. So autonomous technology and autonomous vehicles, they are increasingly a reality on the streets as we speak. It's been 15, 16 years of development.
Since the DARPA Grand Challenge.
Exactly, with lots of long tails, et cetera. And Waymo is a leader and a big partner of ours in Austin and Atlanta. And what we view is that there isn't going to be this kind of binary outcome, which is either all autonomous or no autonomous. That really the world, as autonomous technology develops, it's going to develop in a hybrid way. And you are going to have fleets in cities that consist of some autonomous vehicles and then many human-driven vehicles as well. And that ultimately, that transition and the part that we play in that transition, because of the incredible demand that we bring to both human drivers and robot drivers, we will have a big part to play in that transition as well. So we partner with Waymo, but we've got over 20 partners now in the autonomous space, including NVIDIA, for example, WeRide, Pony, Wabi, amongst others. And just like we want every terrific licensed human driver on the platform, we're going to want every terrific licensed robot driver on the platform as well. And we'll be in 15 cities by the end of the year with our partners. And by 2029, we think that we will facilitate more autonomous and robotaxi rides than anyone else in the world. So there are a number of players. If you think about the ecosystem, there's the demand aggregator, which is Uber. Then there is the autonomous driver, and there are many players who are building out the autonomous driver, whether it's a Waymo, a WeRide, Pony.ai, NVIDIA's building out its own autonomous driver, Neuro, AvRide, and many, many more. Wabi, for example. So there are many companies that are building out the driver, and we are helping them in different ways of building out the driver. Zoox is another one, building out the driver.
You're going to play with Zoox as well?
Well, we certainly would love to work with them. So there's some that we're working with, and some that we're in discussions with, or different places in terms of partnership discussions. Then you actually need the car, right? And the car needs to have very, very sophisticated compute, needs to have redundant steering, braking, et cetera. So the needs of the car are different, and we're working with Lucid, for example, has a great car that already has a bunch of the redundancy and the sensor systems already built into that car as well, which is one of the reasons why we partner with Lucid. But you can expect many other partnership announcements as well, OEM announcements. And then you need essentially the fleet management and fleet ownership as well. Early on, we will go out and buy cars. But then over a long period of time, just like Marriott doesn't own any hotels, it's actually financial players, these kind of real estate investment trusts that own the hotels that Marriott manages. We think that autonomous will also kind of move into this asset-light model where we'll be operating the fleets, we'll be repairing the cars, we'll be cleaning the cars, either ourselves or through partners. And then there will be financial players, you know, the Blackstones of the world, who are going to own large fleets of cars that, you know, give a 9% yield, so to speak. So it's a big ecosystem that we're building, and we're essentially working with everyone in that ecosystem. And we think it's going to be another $1 trillion marketplace, and We're very, very excited for autonomous to become a reality. I'd say the focus right now is, Eats started obviously as online food delivery. What we're seeing now is a friend of mine, a VC who was involved with Uber early on, he said, never underestimate the power of human laziness, right? And you can build huge businesses there. So what we're seeing is that people want anything and everything delivered to their home, and they want it now.
Yes.
So the expansion of Uber Eats, and we've debated ourselves, does Uber Eats travel to non-food items? What we're seeing, the expansion into grocery, into every single part of retail, whether it's Best Buy or makeup at Sephora, et cetera, has been growing much, much faster than we expected. And so that I'd say is a focus for us, which is delivery of anything and everything to your home within an hour. That business is just exploding for us.
100 years ago, we had this massive shift from horse and buggy to cars. And it took about 15 years to make the transition where 50% of the vehicles were cars. How long do you expect that transition to take where 50% of the cars are self-driving cars, autonomous?
So I do think that in the next 10 years, I think every single new car sold is going to have autonomous driving software on it, and it'll have a sensor stack. The cost of LiDAR is really coming down. The cost of cameras are coming down. So within 10 years, every new car is going to be autonomous ready. Now, there's going to be a huge inventory of existing cars. And the average life of a car in the US is over 10 years.
Yeah.
So it's going to take a very, very long time. The lifetime of cars, is I guess similar to horses too. Horses can live for a while, but I think it'll take a while for that fleet to turn over. And then I do think that this product, it is a relatively expensive product, right? Today. Now the cost curves are going to come down, and you will see autonomous become a very, very big part of developed markets. But also keep in mind that we operate in 70 plus countries. In a lot of developing markets, autonomous is going to take a while to penetrate.
There was a moment when I did some of the research years ago and looked at that an electric autonomous car could be 4 times cheaper than owning a car.
I think ultimately, we think the promise of autonomous is exactly that, which is it's just not going to make sense for you to own your own car. As these cars proliferate, the cost of autonomous the cost per trip is going to come down. Safety per trip is absolutely going to come up. You'll have your own privacy. You'll be able to have your stuff essentially loaded up in the car in terms of your music or whatever you like. So we do think that autonomous is an enormous opportunity in terms of the expansion of the TAM for both mobility and delivery of all kinds.
Let me give you my vision of what it looks like 5 years from now. So you're sitting at breakfast with your kids, and you stand up from your breakfast table and you start walking.
Hopefully breakfast delivered by Uber Eats, but
Let's do that. And you start walking towards the front door. Your AI knows your calendar. It has cameras in your home. It sees you walking toward the front door, and automatically, it's my favorite term, an autonomous Uber pulls in front. You didn't have to call it. You
Nope.
didn't have to ask it. And you hop into it, and it knows that you didn't get a good night's sleep last night from your Uber data, so it decided to bring you a car with a lie-down bed in the back as well.
So, I didn't come to Uber because I thought it was going to be a layup, right? I mean, at the time, Uber was going through a very, very difficult time. And I think anyone who joined Uber around my time, and there are a bunch of our teammates who joined around when I did.
2018?
2017.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, there's a certain personality at Uber who likes running to the fire, doesn't run away from the fire. And ultimately, the biggest reason why I joined Uber was kind of one of the lessons I learned in life is go to a place where you can make impact, and go to a place that is having impact in the world. And if you want to have impact at a company, or if you want to have impact in the world, it doesn't come with a free lunch. Like, you're going to have to work your ass off.
Yeah. And you're not scared to say that to your team.
It's not that I'm scared. Like, I say it to the team. I think it's a feature of the place. Like, it's an intense work culture. You work with super smart people who are working really, really hard. And yes, that comes with a trade-off. It doesn't mean we don't have flexibility around work, but it's fun to work hard and succeed. It's fun to succeed at things that are difficult and are really, really hard. I think it gives us other level of satisfaction. That's what Uber offers, and we're going to be very plain spoken about it.